Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Alper, product manager here at Storely, and I'm excited to be moderating today's discussion. We have an amazing guest, Marissa Bell, senior digital product manager at Face Reality Skincare. Today, we'll explore the fascinating journey Marissa took from marketing to product management and dive into Face Reality's product management approach with some real life challenges and solutions on it. We'll also get some practical tips on navigating the career and aligning product development with the industry needs. So let's get started. Welcome, Marissa. How are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm also fine, thanks. So it's a bit common now. So to kick things off, we are starting with the career journey. So could you please share a bit about your career journey? What motivated you to make the shift from marketing to product management? And how did you find yourself in your current role at Face Reality?
My career journey was really kind of came very naturally and was never like a big shift or just like a big shift that came in from one career path to another. I started out in data analytics, doing quality assurance, got heavily into analysis process of getting feedback from customers, using that data to then share out to teams to be able to use that for new decisions regarding quality control. My career journey from marketing into product management came very naturally. I started out very heavily in data analytics, supporting marketing teams and initially quality assurance teams to take customer data, use that information to give recommendations to cross-functional team members to help them as they're driving and making decisions about various initiatives, either in marketing or in the quality assurance space. After undergrad, I was working at a digital marketing agency where my full role was supporting digital marketing media buyers to pull data from direct marketing campaigns and do the same, where I was recommending or showing recommendations based on what they shared with me about their focus and their KPIs to be able to give them what they needed or give, interesting insights for them to help guide the path of their next steps and their strategy. So once I finished grad school, I always kind of worked at smaller companies on purpose to be able to get more insight about what every player in a company is doing and what's important to them. And I felt like getting that experience at a smaller company would be a lot easier than potentially being more siloed in a larger company as I was just kind of starting my career. So once I finished grad school, continued working at a smaller company where I really became at that point a product marketing manager, where the business did do marketing for the wine industry, but I was focused on a specific tool for a APS system for HR teams to be able to hire and look for people who were interested specifically in the wine industry. So that gave me a really natural progression into product management because I was planning out the strategy for marketing that tool, but I was also getting feedback and looking for what's the value prop that I can market to different companies. And so that got me starting working closely with our development team to ideate features for that tool. And that's really where things started for digital product. I really enjoyed that process of getting the feedback, using that data insight to be able to say, this is something that we can conceptualize and build, which can either help add value. It can kind of broaden the scope of that tool to be able to have other features that could either be monetized or not. So it came very naturally. The more I worked with the developer at that role at the wine company, it was very helpful to see how the developer thought about things and getting that feedback and talking to different stakeholders. How can I help you? Doing even cold calls. And it was like a sales and marketing feature where I was really getting insights from the users and multiple stakeholders to understand how we can make this tool better to make my job easier at the time for marketing it. But then that really kind of sparked my interest in digging deep into a tool and how can we improve it to make it more valuable to the customer and then make marketing it easier, because then it sells itself at that point.
Amazing. That's an amazing journey. And we'll for sure circle back to this shift shortly. But first, I would like to dive into your experience spanning both marketing and product management.
Yeah.
How has this dual perspective shaped your approach to product development?
I think that when developing different tools, the customer always comes first. Whether it's internal stakeholders or it's the end user or it's even the people who are impacted by that user. In my current role, we build tools for skincare professionals to use so that they can help their clients achieve clear skin. And I want to make sure that we're building tools that are thinking all the way through from internal stakeholders, admins on our team who are helping support customers when they call in, helping the client user, and then also helping their customers to make sure that they are successful in their business and that their clients are getting a really seamless experience as well. Because the more we support them, the better they are for their clients. Also making sure that we're scoping out how much does this user want to be immersed in the digital experience. I've, in e-commerce roles that I've had in the past, it's been very much people are there to interact with a website. They do it frequently. They want to make sure that we get the most out of that e-commerce experience. They know that they're there to be online and they want to spend time online. They prefer it even. In my role now, where we're building tools to support a business owner, their strength, their path, their passion is in personal customer experiences for their clients. So we want to build tools that support them without requiring them to spend a lot of time in our tools, which is at the same time also making sure our internal teams have a really streamlined experience to support the customer. So it's an interesting place to be, but it also, because we get to get multiple customer segments and, each customer in that path, we can say, how does this affect the client? How does this affect the B2B customer? And then our internal teams to be able to get really good insights about each of them so that we can make things better every time we make feature upgrades. So we bring a lot of where marketing comes into play too, where we have multiple customer segments. We really want to understand what's using direct customer feedback from surveys, but also kind of just we want to make sure that we're empathy driven, make sure that they are happy, that they feel good when they're using the tool, that they get the most out of it for what they're looking for in that moment. And always reconfiguring what we're doing and how we're doing it so that we can make it better every time. And that we're never doing a huge overhaul at once, that we're kind of making those agile, small upgrades every time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're using a lot of what I learned in marketing is helping with that, is the process of data gathering and the conversations that we're having with end user customers, even with internal teams, making sure that when we're presenting back mock-up of what we're building, that they're feeling really good about that wireframe and what it does or, what it doesn't do. And we're not pushing it until it really is exactly what everyone wants and is happy with, which was exactly what we do in marketing as well. So
yeah, makes sense. Also, the interesting thing Face Reality does is you have two key fronts. Basically, you have skincare products and you have a completely different agenda. I would say academy, acne training and certification program. So education is clearly a powerful pillar in your approach. So I'm a bit curious about the second part. So when you're developing products specifically for clinics and acne experts, so their job is to give the best service to their customers. So what are some key considerations you focus on to ensure that the products are intuitive and effective for a wide range of users? Because I can imagine the users of yours very, let me circle like that. So what are some key considerations you focus on to ensure that the products are intuitive and effective for a wide range of users?
We're really fortunate at Face Reality to have employees who themselves are acne experts. We have a number of people who have either esthetician licenses or other types of licenses, which make them a skincare professional. Many people on our internal team have been business owners before and have used our tools before. Some of them, and we also have really close relationships with our acne experts, our B2B clients. Because as you said, for Face Reality, we offer physical products and digital products to deliver education and business support tools for people in the skincare industry who want to treat acne and want to clear clients' acne. So when we, first iteration, we can talk to our internal teams. What did we know what employees here used to own their own businesses, or what employees here were acne experts who worked for a business owner. We've had people who got trained once they came on. And so we have a really good spectrum of different types of acne experts internally as well. So really first ideating, like, who do I talk to internally that I can say, we're thinking of a thing. What would your approach be in your former position as this? And then also as an internal stakeholder now, how would you see it differently so that we can also make the backend admin tool successful as well to streamline their role? And so they give us really good insight at first. We also have really close relationships with many of our acne experts. It's also very much open door. If our customers have feedback, they can always come and give us feedback. Almost every tool we have, they can go in and say, here's some feedback. The team takes it in, we review it. And then as we're kind of thinking through our roadmap, understanding what can we do, when can can we do it? And when does it make the most sense to do it to help people get what they need, but also not, it's a very jarring experience online to completely change everything at once. So when there's really revolutionary changes that are requested, we want to do those things and we want to do them as quickly as we can, but also in a way that makes sense for the customer experience so that we're not overhauling everything and really forcing like a retraining of the digital tools that we have. So we're trying to, we try to make these feature upgrades that really make a seamless experience for the customers who have been there from the start and for the new customers so that we don't then force them into, they're already taking education and training on our protocols and on the clear skin method that Face Reality uses for skincare pros to learn how to address their clients' acne, but also we don't want them to have to go through training on how to use our digital tools. So that's where that, as you said, the intuitive nature of our tools come in, and that comes through small feature upgrades that make sense and a lot of collaboration internally, externally, and also just research, just like we would in marketing, going and looking at what other tools, whether within our industry or outside of our industry, do similar things or create that similar feeling or experience for customers so that we can deliver the best tools that we can possibly provide to them as we can.
I can confidently say that you are so lucky that you have those experts in your team, because it's always challenging to collect feedback from your end users. And
yeah. Well, it is. We're extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. It is a frequent conversation that we have. Hey, we're thinking of this. How does this impact your experience? Especially our acne experts, we have large companies and we have solo skincare professionals that they are self-employed and they have smaller businesses, and we want to be able to support them just as well as we support larger businesses, because we don't want anyone to feel forgotten. We want everyone to be successful, whatever that metric of success is for them. And so, just as we would in marketing, you don't assume that your customer is all the same one way. You want to figure out, why is this customer here with us? What do they need from us? What can we do better for them? Maybe what have we done in the past that didn't help them? Or what did we do that maybe really needs to be thought of again? And it's very much using the same kind of customer-centric framework that we would use in marketing, able to understand these customers externally, because they do have so many different needs. And even when you zoom into one segment, they even have different needs themselves. And so to be able to use that same framework, it's very helpful. Our teams, it's also, the way that the company is structured, we do have these ongoing conversations with marketing teams as well to make sure that if they're gathering data, we also have some insights into that. Or if we learn something, we're sharing it cross-functionally. So there's really that ecosystem and also just consistency across both channels, that marketing team and product team and physical product team, that everyone's really aligned to give a clear and concise message to our customers who have various needs.
We have also spoken before the meeting, and I know the approach that you take for product management, and it's a quite unique one. What I hear for now is you're extremely customer-centric company, but you're also managing a digital product as well. So could you please run us through for frameworks that you use? Because I know that you are using customer-centric approach with product-led management. So could you please just maybe give some examples or run us through the approach of yours?
Of like a specific product or launch, or just?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So we do assess, as a product team, we do approach things with an agile methodology. So as I described before, making small changes, that's both internally to be able to get feedback on each iteration of a tool or a feature of a tool that we launch with. There are some times where something is a big change. I did not lead this project, but there was a project recently where we replatformed our education tool, our learning management system, LMS, from one tool to a completely different platform. And that has to be a big overhaul. You can't slowly migrate people over. It will be kind of a drop off and push over to the other platform. But we still try to make sure, especially when that big push is happening, we're still really, when agile processes can't be used, agile frameworks can't be used for those big drop offs, we're making sure that we're really careful about empathy mapping, making sure that our customers we're not building something that they don't want and aren't ready for, and also making sure that what they enjoy from the former platform is something that is sustained in the new platform. And anything that was really a hardship in the previous one, like, why are we making this upgrade? Why can't we continue with this old one? That we're really diving into those features of what could be better together and ensuring that they are indeed the best they can be for our segments at that time. With that, we usually it's more of a framework of customer journey mapping, empathy mapping. And in the case of, because we do have close contact with so many of our acne experts and our company has very close relationships with our acne experts, we do get to use voice of customer, where we reach out and have beta testing and we ask them that there's a time when segment of customers comes in and we can show them what we do and show them our roadmap and say, these are the things we're thinking of in the next 12 or so months. What are your thoughts on this? Would this really impact your business in the way that you do? Because our acne experts run their businesses also differently, as I said before. So we have groups of customers that come in that they do have very different approaches. They have different goals. They have different reasons for what they do. And we want to get all of their feedback directly. So that's, again, we very grateful for that community where we can have that direct feedback with them and that direct relationship with them. But mostly it's between those three. Sometimes even when we're using agile methodology and it's a smaller update, constantly looking at what did we do last time? How can we improve it this time around? But we're still incorporating that voice of customer. If it's a quick fix, it's just a 1 or 2 sprint project, we do use our internal teams more because we don't want to bother the people that we have close relationships with that do own a business. Like they're trying to run their business. They may not want to answer every single question we have. So we really want to make sure that we're reaching out to them as much as we need to, especially for these big drop-off projects, like the new learning management system. Again, I didn't lead that project, but I was part of the team that did help with that, and making sure that the onboarding experience it was very seamless. That, it is a big ask of a customer to say, you need to take our training. It is X number of hours. You have to do these 3 tasks, and then we will review it and give you feedback. It can be a long process, and it was previously. And some of the pain points were the time it takes to get certified once they finish their tasks. Sometimes it was hearing the questions that people who had just finished training had, where we said, well, maybe technically some of this information was included in the videos, but if those videos are too long, that it's hard, it's information overload at one time. How can we make it so that people are really engaging and that the education is tangible, so that when we move over to this new platform, how can we improve that to make it so, because these are, the business owners for skincare, like it's a very tactile industry to have a customer in front of you and you're touching their face and you're doing peels and whatever magic they do. We want to make sure that we're meeting them in the way that they want to learn this and to understand that. So making sure when it is that big drop off that we create the best that we can, and then continue to say, okay, for now we can re-platform our videos, and in the future we can scope out what this new experience can look like to really make sure that the training is so beneficial and not just a task they have to get through. I don't think a lot of our customers think of it that way, but we also want to make sure that those that might come away with that feeling, using the empathy mapping framework to say, how do we make this so that it really resonates with them, so that it becomes that this protocol and this method, the clear skin method that we train people on, really becomes innate to them. For the end user client, the actual client who has acne and wants to go to a skincare pro to have that addressed, also make sure that when they go to an acne expert, they can rely on the experience to be consistent. Sometimes there are times where an end user client will go to an acne expert. Maybe they moved off to college, or for whatever reason, they can't go to that acne expert anymore because they moved away, or whatever that means. That if they go to somebody else, or if the acne expert refers them to somebody else, that they get the same experience. It's not going to be a completely different protocol, completely different assignment, completely different products. That said, we also want to make sure that our acne experts, they own their business. They are the experts. So we aren't forcing them to do, you can only do these steps, you can only use these products. And so finding that balance is a really interesting task, and to make sure that we are respectful and supportive of the business owners to be the expert in the room. And we're not just telling them to do something, but also that client can expect the same experience across the brand, no matter where they go, if they have to leave because they've moved or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So, that should be the most challenging part, I guess, because you are basically aiming to ease skincare professionals' lives and make their standardize their workflows, and also at the same time you don't need to take so much time to explore the new improvements or maybe some new education if it comes. So you need to balance that in a way so that it won't be challenging to the skincare professional self either. So
right,
it's a bit tricky.
And they and they don't, again, like I said earlier, they are business owners who, and maybe they have number of clients that are carrying multiple lines, which we support and we know about. Some of them, they don't want to be spending a ton of time online. So we're not going to build a tool that requires 3 hours of them to plug in different things. We want to make it fast and easy for them so that they can focus on their clients, but also enough training where they can feel really confident in their treatment rooms so that when the client there, that they are confidently speaking about the products, the protocols, what they recommend, and to make sure that they know that they are the expert, that they are confident in what they're doing. If whether they are a skincare professional who's been in the business for a long time and just taking our training further in their career, or if they just got out of school and they're trying to bring on a new line and this is the first time they're learning about this protocol or about acne, even, that we're focused on both types of customer segments and we're giving them what they need at the time if they need that. And if they don't, they get to say, maybe I don't need this tool, but I do want that one, and making something for everyone so that everyone feels supported, but we're not encroaching in their process either.
Yeah. You need to come up with a hybrid approach to meet all of these demands, because you are a multi-directional operation. You are B2B, also you are B2C, and I guess it makes you B2B2C. So you need to listen to end customer, also skincare professionals, so that you can create an environment where everyone is happy with the treatment that they get. So it's a bit hard to balance that. So maybe I can ask this. So in order to measure the success of this process, what indicators you look at? Do you have any framework, or do you have any specific metrics that you look at while assessing the success of these products or procedures?
We do. And it's especially in an industry where there is obviously HIPAA compliance. Like, we don't store client information for their acne experts clients. Like, that's their business. We don't want encroaching in that. But there are metrics of the business owner that can tell us if their business is growing, if they're expanding their product line that they purchase from us, or if they, it could be based on if there's a new video that's launched that is about a certain product, or a new update to the protocol that they can apply, or a specific skin condition that they can learn about, and there may be a product or two recommended shown in those training videos. Did they engage in purchasing that product after they watched the video? So how much are videos helping them understand that protocol? Are they adding even if they're not purchasing more products, are they adding employees to their business? Do they have so much business that they're adding employees? Are they shipping direct to their clients more frequently? Are they getting more virtual clients that maybe in that case I spoke to earlier, if a client moves away to college, they might come home during summer and winter vacation and get treatments at home, but they're gone during the school year. Maybe they can do virtual appointments with their acne expert. So making sure we're enabling that experience for them to be able to ship directly to their clients for the acne expert, so that they're not losing a customer. Especially with acne, there are a lot of teenagers that have it. And so when they go off to school or they move away when they become adults, that happens a lot. We don't want to create a customer base for our acne experts where the clients are going to leave in 4 years. We want to make sure that it's enabling virtual appointments, enabling direct to client shipping can help them retain their customer base. Also making sure that, you'll notice you mentioned our B2C store, our B2C website. It's interesting because when I was working in CPG, it was always about B2C customers, buy the products, try the products, buy more products later, and a win back campaign for those B2C customers. On our B2C store for this business, it's very much all the CTAs on the website are go find an acne expert. Okay, if you're not ready yet to commit to the program, try a sunscreen, try a lotion. It's acne safe. You're not going to make it worse, but you're not going to actually address your acne until you go to the expert. So making sure that on that site, the two tools that we have on our B2C store, one's a skin quiz, which directs them to acne experts to go and find an acne expert for themselves who can give them that feedback after we've shared with them, like, okay, here's a lotion and a sunscreen that can help you not make your acne worse, but not increase your experience with acne. But we also want to make sure that you're going to go find an acne expert, because we can't tell you online what your personal needs are for your skin. So go find an acne expert in your area. We also have the store locator. So those are really the only two tools, is our acne expert locator and our skin quiz, that really just drives B2C customers to our store. If they do happen to say, I'm not ready to commit to a program yet, or I'm not ready, I just want to try a lotion, of course that's available, but it's not like they have any access to active products that they can really only get from the acne expert. So everything really drives back to making sure we're supporting the acne expert that trains with us, because the adaptive protocols and the adaptive method of the face reality of the clear skin method that we provide training for, we can't do that. We can't replicate that online ourselves through some tool. We need to make sure that they're in front of a person who can give them that feedback and really look at what they're going through and ask them, questions about what their life is like, what their unique situation is. And that can really only happen in person with an acne expert. So really our B2C store, it's such a difference than when I was working in CPG e-com, of very much focused on D2C, go ahead and buy products and keep buying more every time. We really have a full B2C experience, B2C and D2C experience that is really focused on, don't buy from us, go to see an acne expert instead, which makes the KPIs a little bit different, right? Because we're not looking at revenue, we're looking at events of how many people got to the store locator, how many people searched in their area, how many acne experts popped up, how many people did they click on. We don't know how many actually ended up engaging, because we don't want to track clients once they are in an acne expert's business. Like, that's their business. We don't want to encroach on any of that. But getting KPI metrics to making sure our tools, even on the B2C store, are fulfilling our end goal of supporting the acne expert's business, growing their business in the acne space, and bringing clients to them. Again, whether they're a brand new user just starting their business and they're like, all right, I'm ready to go, put me on the store locator, or put me on the acne expert locator so people can come find me and bring them referrals. Or is it somebody who's been in the space longer, but they really want more acne clients that they can help? So everything leads back to the acne expert and supporting them.
Yeah, but I can see that you are building whole process just to make sure that everyone is happy. As I said, you are basically matching your actual product with the service that you are offering, and which makes it gives much more confidence to your potential customers to come take an appointment with your acne experts, and just basically eases the step on the doorstep for your acne experts as well. So it's
very different than the it ends up being very different metrics and KPIs, because it's not just revenue based, but it's very much more of a softer KPI of like, did they engage with this tool? Or even on the B2B side, did someone engage with this tool that we built that really supports people that are just finishing training and want to, now they have someone in front of them, they can, the tools that we have to support them, they can plug in information and get access to a protocol that we would recommend based on a matrix, but it's still available for them to adjust obviously to their clients' needs. But just make the B2B acne expert know that they're supported, and also make that support tangible through those products. And those KPIs are obviously different to say, did they engage with the tool? If they did engage with the tool, how did it go? Did they buy something different than what was recommended? Okay, let's figure out why, so that we can make sure that we're giving them the best outcome every time to support them better every day and just make things better every day.
Great insights. And it's a very uncommon way of speaking to customers. Like, there is a communication between you and the end user, but it's in an indirect way, but it basically aims to educate every individual in the chain.
I think that's with using, I think where using my background in marketing helps me in that approach is, instead of it being a communication or an external message or an external campaign, I'm getting feedback on the feature. Did the feature work? Did the feature get updated? So it really isn't it's really not that different, other than, the functional dynamics of interacting with stakeholders and developers, very different, but the actual communication with the end user customer and considering them and using various frameworks depending on the project to get that feedback to really make it immersive for the end user client really isn't that different, of understanding the segments, getting the KPIs gathered, getting the analytics set up before the tool goes out, before the feature goes out, just like you would with a marketing campaign. Make sure you have your reports, make sure you have your success metrics ready to go, so that you're not ever wondering, did it work? Like, we can know that based on how people are interacting, just as we would with a marketing campaign in that portion of product management tasks.
I guess only the outer shell of the way we communicate changes when we look at the marketing and product management, because the core is the communication itself. So once you communicate with your customers via marketing, you need to succeed that to be a successful marketing manager. And you need to understand your customers, your end users' desires to shape up the product, and the communication method changes, but the actual core value is still there, I would say.
It is. And I do want to say, like, we obviously on product, our marketing team does an amazing job with external communications across, various channels. And they're such a pleasure to work with. And they're so engaging. And they do also, they're part of that stakeholder that can give us the feedback of what their marketing segments are showing them, what their macro forces are telling them for their research. But they always handle all of that of like, okay, here's a new feature upgrade, or here's a new product. And they're handling all that in such a beautiful way. And so working cross-functionally with them is such a pleasure, because they also get that insight to work with our internal teams, our external stakeholders, but they do a great job of handling all of the marketing campaigns across various channels, and giving us feedback and insights into what initiatives we can look at and focus on next throughout, as we kind of engage in the roadmap that we have laid out.
Great. I had some questions, but I guess since the the discussion goes this well, I just want to ask my questions about the frameworks. But I'm a little bit curious about your shift from marketing to product management. Maybe I can end with this, and maybe we can get some advice from you to maybe as an inspiration for our listeners. So, as someone who successfully transitioned from marketing to product management, what key insights or advice would you offer to professionals considering a similar path? What challenges should they expect? What skills should they focus on maybe improving? Or what are the opportunities they have in the industry?
I think one of the things that was most helpful, I'm trying to think backwards about it, of what approaches and what skills do I use today that I learned at that time when I was in marketing. And that's definitely analytics, being very strong in reading, creating, strategizing, ideating what KPIs, what analytics you want. Starting to, if you're thinking about moving into product management for marketing, but you are still in the marketing space, starting to look at different KPIs than what you've looked at before. So outside of looking at impressions, engagement, revenue, conversion metrics, look at those softer events that are in between that funnel to understand exactly what the very small steps that are in that space, because then that will give you that framework to understand which features are really activating those differences. And in the same space with the customer segments, like you'll look at your overall customer segments, and in marketing, I would always look at, what customer segment engages the most with our campaigns, what customer segments are driving revenue the most, getting a microscope and looking at smaller bits of that segment of how they are different, and then how they engage with those KPIs I spoke to earlier of those softer non-revenue or it's not an add to cart event, but it might be a who page depth, how far down the page do they scroll, what exact function feature resonated with them. So analytics, working backwards and really getting a microscope of what KPIs you're looking at to understand those pieces more and to make that more of a normal practice. I think continuing, which is normal in marketing, but continuing asking the why. Why are they engaging with this? Why is this helping more? Constant A/B testing obviously helps, and just really engaging more with the technicality. For me, I went from direct consumer marketing for digital media to e-commerce, CPG to product management. And it was very seamless that way. So especially with e-commerce, when you're looking at those tools and spaces, constant A/B testing, how can I make this better? How can I make customers, not just who is purchasing, but who is coming back and purchasing again? And what tools are they engaging with, or what features are they engaging with on the site? That kind of changes your framework to always asking the why and what is causing it. And whether it's the customer's preferences causing it, or whether it's an actual tool that's inspiring them to change that behavior, was really kind of the framework that helped me, that are skills that I still use today and still go back to all the time. Just getting curious. And especially, if you do have a product management team at your company, they love to talk about it. They love to hear from marketing teams, to hear what the approach is and what they're looking for. And so just getting engaged. I mean, I was so lucky when I was at the wine communications company, there was a developer that was so kind, so chatty, so open to tell me when I didn't understand why, how are you thinking about this? And being able to have that conversation between developers and between other stakeholders to enable what you're looking for. So especially if you're working with marketing agencies to actually enable like paid campaigns, trying to find out how they think about things, because you really do have to go back and forth and communicate between two different teams that their focus is very different. And so being able to kind of switch between those two kind of communication styles and document everything and make sure, because that's such a big part of product management, is document everything and make sure that communication, that one document can be read by multiple teams who have different focuses, different approaches, and different assumptions, and get really good at your documentation or your communication through documentation, so that if everyone reads the same paperwork, they all walk away with the same assumptions and the same learnings, so that, because you really are the go-between to translate between those two teams that do think differently and have different focuses. So getting good at that, feeling really confident about that, and just start talking to people that are doing that, so that you can learn about more how they're approaching it and what you can focus on or improve on to be able to do that well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was amazing discussion. Thank you for sharing your insights and experiences with us. This has been an incredible conversation, full of practical advices, strategies. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been great.
And I would like to thank to our audience as well. Thank you everyone who joined for this discussion. If you have any further question for me or Marissa, just feel free to reach out. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.